Hello everyone and welcome to you all. Today we'll start with the numericals of frame over here using flexibility matrix method. So I have taken one first numerical, that is a right angle bent ABC whose column AB is loaded with a point load at the center and the horizontal member BC is loaded with the uniformly distributed load over there, and the EI value is to be taken constant for your frame over there. Now while analysis of the frames as compared to your moment distribution method and slope deflection method over there, in flexibility matrix method you do not have any sway concept over here, because in moment distribution and in slope deflection method we are dealing with the value of decay. Okay, in that sway frame your decay was increasing by 1 and that we are calling as sway coefficient delta, but here we are using the degree of static indeterminacy, that is ds over there. Okay, so for ds in case of beams or in case of frames it is simply calculated as ds is equal to r minus 3. So in case of beams or in case of frames, for flexibility matrix method you do not have any sway concept here. All the method that you are going to solve for the beam, for non-sway and the sway frame are the similar one, right? So we will solve the frames by using same method that we are using for beams over there. Okay, so we'll start with the solution here. In the solution, the first step is what? We calculate the initial value of ds, degree of static indeterminacy. So degree of static indeterminacy, it is given by r minus 3, that is number of reactions minus 3. So r will calculate here. R for support A, you are having fixed support here, so here you will be having 3 number of reactions, and here there is a hinge support, so here you will be having 2 number of reactions. So total number of reactions are 5 minus 3, so that I get equal to 2 here, right? Now here if you see that B is your rigid joint here, that is a capable joint, but for capable joint we consider only the decay value, that is theta over there, but in case of the frames we do not consider those values, or in case of the flexibility matrix method we do not see those values over there, because why? We need here ds values over there. Now we'll move for our next step, that is we'll draw your moment diagrams here. Now in moment diagram, first we'll draw capital M diagram. For that capital M diagram, what we do? We remove the excess constants over here. So now we have got here 2 numbers of excess constants over there, so that we can assume any 2 as your redundant reactions over here. Out of these 5 reactions, that is 3 at support A and 2 at your support C over there. So what I'll do, how we assume the redundant? At least your that particular support shall get completely removed over there. In that way you have to assume the redundance over there. So what I will do, I will assume R1, that is equal to vertical reaction at point C in upward direction, and R2 as horizontal reaction at point C in rightward direction as the redundance over there. So which 2 reactions I am assuming the redundant? That is the vertical reaction at point C and the horizontal reaction towards the right side as the redundant reactions. So this will be my R1 value, and here this horizontal reaction will be the R2 value over there, right? So these 2 reactions I am assuming as the redundants. So in capital M diagram we have to remove those redundant force and keep the applied loads as it is. So your fixed support at A will remain as it is, B, and here you are having C joint loaded with UDL of 10 kilonewton per meter, and here point load of 12 kilonewton at 2 meter and 2 meter over there. Okay, so this diagram will be your capital M diagram. Now using this diagram, what we'll do now, we'll plot the small m1 diagram. In that small m1 diagram, what we do, we remove all the given loadings to you and we apply a unit load at your first ordinate over there. That is your first ordinate we have taken as your vertical reaction at point C. That means here we'll apply a vertical reaction R1 is equal to 1 here, right? So and this is your 4 meters. So complete I have taken the just r1 is equal to positive 1, that is the vertical direction equal to 1 at your first coordinate. So this diagram will be your small m1 diagram. And in same way I'll draw small m2 diagram here. Again in small m2 diagram what we do, we apply a unit positive load at your second coordinate. So second coordinate we have taken at for the horizontal reaction at point C. So here I'll apply R2 is equal to 1 now. So that will give me the small m2 diagram. So these are my complete 3 moment diagrams over there. Capital M diagram with the given loading as it is, small m1 diagram with the unit load at your first coordinate, and small m2 diagram with the unit load at your second coordinate. Okay. Now next we'll move for your next step, that is the moment table. Okay, in moment table we have seen the columns, that is the first column is your portion, second column is the origin or x is equal to 0 at which point it is, right. Next is your capital M, next is small m1, small m2, and last is the limits over here. Okay, here your EI values are constant, so your EI column will not be introduced in this table over here. Okay, now we'll start with your portions first. So portions which will start from the free end over there, that is the first portion which we'll consider, that is your portion CB over here. Right, now origin point I'll keep as my first point, that is C as the origin over there. That means x value at point C will be equal to 0, origin or x equal to 0 at which point it is equal to C. So what I have to do, I have to pass this section in my portion CB which is located at a distance x from your origin point C over there. So I'll pass such type of sections in all these 3 diagrams over there. Capital M, small m1 and small m2 diagram, I'll pass the sections over here. Okay, now we'll calculate the moment values over here, that is the capital M diagram. Now if you see from the section from the origin point to this cutted section over here, you are having this UDL over there. So moment of this UDL will occur around this section over there, right. So moment of this UDL around this section will be how much, that is the intensity of UDL multiplied by its acting length is x. So here that comes 10 into x, and where this will act at the half of this x over there, that is somewhere here it will act that at the half of x. So lever arm for that will become half of that x, that is equal to x by 2, and that moment will be your clockwise in nature, so I'll treat that as positive. So if I simplify this, I'll get this as plus 5x square over there. Okay, now next I'll see for M1 diagram over there. So in M1 you are having the loading of R1 equal to 1 moment up to this section over there. So moment of this R1 around this section will be how much, that will come R1 into x over there, that is 1 into x, and that moment will be anti-clockwise in nature, so it will come negative. So I'll write here as minus x in small m1 over there. Okay, now next in M2 diagram. In M2 diagram you are having this horizontal loading R2 is equal to 1. So moment of this horizontal loading along this section will be how much, that will come equal to 0. Why? Because for this section or for this member, this load is the axial load here, or if you see for this loading around this section, its perpendicular distance will be equal to 0 over there, because this is an axial load for that. So that is why your loading in span or in portion CB for small m2 will become equal to 0. Limits of integration, C to C distance, that will come 0 to C to B distance, that is your equal to 3. So limits of integration my are coming are 0 to 3 here. Okay, so this will be my first portion over there. Now I'll continue with my next portion, that is portion, here I am having D point. So next portion will be portion BD. Now see, your member is changing from horizontal to the vertical over there. That is your portion, first it was CB portion was horizontal and your BD portion is now vertical over here. So we cannot keep now C as your origin point over here. right? So we'll shift here your origin. Just remember one thing, in cases of beams, your origin point must be kept always same order. That I will prefer to you. You can change, but I will prefer that you must keep the origin point same. But in case of the frames over there, as your geometry of the frame changes, your origin point will also get changed. So here for portion BD, I'll keep B as my origin over here. That is, x will be equal to 0 at my point B. So what I'll do, I'll again cut the sections in portion BD, keeping B as my origin. So here I am cutting the first section in the portion BD, which is at a distance again x from your origin point. Same way here somewhere is D. So I'll cut the section in portion BD, which is again at a distance x over here, and same way in in M2 diagram also I'll cut this section x, which is again at a distance x over there. Okay, so these three sections I have done. Now we'll see for capital M diagrams. Now we have to take moment of all the forces from the free end to the section over there. Now you do not consider only the forces from the B point, but you have to consider them from the C point also, because this UDL will also having some influence on this BD portion over there. So you have to consider the moment of this UDL also along this section. So we'll take moment of this UDL. So that comes intensity of UDL multiplied by its acting length is now total length of this UDL, that is 10 into 3. So that comes here 10 into 3, and that moment will come again clockwise, so it will come positive, multiplied by its lever arm, that is perpendicular distance of this 10 into 3, that will be at the half of this 3, so that comes here equal to 1.5 directly. It will not come in terms of x. Why? Because here your section is horizontal and the acting loading is vertical, so your lever arm will be also here horizontal over there. Okay, so this I am getting 10 into 3 into 1.5, I'll get this value is equal to 45, right? Next, in small M1 diagram, now I'll see the section. So moment of this 1 along this point, along this section over there, so that will be how much? 1 into its complete perpendicular length is here 3, so that comes here equal to anti-clockwise moment, so that comes 1 into 3, that is minus 3, I'll get that. Okay, and next in M2 diagram, again I'll cut this section in portion BD at a distance x from point B. Okay, so moment of this 1 along this section over there. Now here you see your perpendicular distance is the vertical distance here, so that will be in terms of x. So this moment of this 1 along this point D, that will be how much? 1 into its perpendicular distance will be x. So 1 into x, and that moment will be a clockwise moment, so it will come 1 into x, that will get as plus x over here, right? Limits of integration, B to B distance is again 0 to B to D distance, that is here equal to 2 here, right? So this will be my moment values for portion BD over there. Now next we will see for our next portion, that is portion DA remaining. So next I'll write here portion DA. Now here what I'll do, I'll keep B as my origin as it is. I'll not change the origin to D. Why? Because you are having same different portions on the same line over there. So that is why I have not changed the origin point here. Okay, so I'll keep B as my origin. So limits of integration will be how much? B to D distance, that will be 2, and B to A distance, that will be 4. So limits of integration will come from 2 to 4. Now I'll cut this section in my selected portion DA, which is now at a distance x from your origin point over there. Okay, same way here also I'll cut this section which is now at a distance x, and here also I'll cut this section in portion DA, which is again at a distance x from origin point B. Now we'll see the moment values over here. So moment of all the forces along this section over here. Now the selected forces will be which one? Acting UDL of 10 and this point load over here. Okay, so moment of UDL along this section. So again that will be 10 into 3 into 1.5. Same loading, that will be just what loading will increase? Loading of this moment of this 12 will be taken along this section. So that will come 12 into lever arm will be your this distance. So that distance will be how much? X minus this 2 length. So that will come plus clockwise moments because 12 into x minus 2 here. Okay, so if you simplify this, I have got this value equal to 10 into 3 into 1.5, that I get as 45 plus 12x minus 24. So that I have got equal to 12x plus 21 over here. 12x plus 21. You can solve this. 10 into 3 into 1.5, that will give you 45. 45 minus 24, that will give you 21. And this 12x will remain as it is over here. Right? Now in M1 and M2 diagram. So we'll cut this section in this. So moment of again this 1 along this section over there. So that will be 1 into 3 anti-clockwise moment. So again it will come minus. And then moment of this 1 along this section in M2 diagram, that will be 1 into again x. So that will come here equal to clockwise moment plus x over here. So this gives me my complete moment table. Remember one thing, if the values in the moment table comes wrong, your whole numerical further will get wrong over here. So take your time and try to solve this moment table very carefully over there. Okay. Now we'll see for our basic equation, that is equal to d is equal to dr plus f into r. I will solve for one by one. First, d values d1 and d2, you are not given any displacement condition over there, so that will come equal to 0. Second, we will calculate for dr1 over there, that is equal to integration of m into m1 into dx divided by ei over there. Now ei is constant, so I will take that outside of integration sign and I will apply boundary condition to m into m1 condition over there. Now see, m into m1, that is for first portion CB within limits 0 to 3 over here. So that I will get 0 to 3, 5x square into minus x. So I will get that as minus 5x cube here into dx plus next portion is my from BD portion 0 to 2 limits of integration. Okay, here I will get this as plus 45 into minus 3. So I will get this as minus 45 into 3 into dx plus the next portion, that is portion dA within limits 2 to 4. Again m 12x plus 21 into minus 3 into dx over there. So this will be my complete equation. So if you solve this, I have got dr1 equal to minus 713.25 divided by ei over there. Same way we will solve for dr2 over there, that is equal to integration of m into m2 into dx divided by ei. Again ei is constant, so I will take it that outside of integration sign. Now if you see here, you are having m2 value 0, so for first portion your product will come 0. Next for BD portion I will get this as 45 into x within limits 0 to 2, 45 into x into dx within limits 0 to 2 plus next is for dA portion, that I will get as within limits 2 to 4, 12x plus 21 into x within limits 2 to 4, 12x plus 21 into x into dx. So if you solve this for the integration, I have got dr2 is equal to plus 440 upon ei. You check this value over here. Okay, I am getting that 440 upon ei. Now next we'll move for our next, that is the flexibility coefficients f. So f I am having f of 1 1, f of 1 2, f of 2 1 and f of 2 2. So I will calculate first one, that is f of 1 1, direct flexibility, integration of m1 into m1 divided by dx upon ei. So 1 upon ei is again constant into integration of m1 into m1. So this term you have to repeat twice over there. So from 0 to 3 x square first one, integration of 0 to 3 minus x and minus x, that will become x square into dx plus next column, that is 0 to 2 and minus 3 into minus 3. So minus 3 into minus 3, that will become plus 9 over there. Limits of integration are from 0 to 2 plus 9 into dx plus next integration, that will be again minus 3 into minus 3, that is 9, but limits of integration are from 2 to 4 over there. So 2 to 4, 9 into dx. You solve this, you will get f of 1 is equal to 45 upon ei. Okay, same way f of 2 integration of m2 into dx upon ei over there. m2, your first m2 value is coming here 0. Okay, so next value is coming x into x, that will become x square from 0 to 2 and x square from 2 to 4. So I'll write here 1 upon e again constant, 0 to 2 x square into dx plus 2 to 4 again x square into dx over there. So if you solve for this, I'll get f of 2 is equal to 21.33 upon ei. And the last is the indirect flexibility. F of 1 is equal to f of 2 integration of m1 into m2 into dx upon ei. So 1 upon ei is again constant into first column, first product, that will become again 0 because m2 is 0. Limits of integration 0 to 2 minus 3x and 2 to 4 again minus 3x over there. So 0 to 2 minus 3x into dx plus 2 to 4 minus 3x into dx over there. So this I have got f of 1 is equal to f of 2 equal to minus 24 upon ei. Okay, so my flexibility coefficients are done here. Now what we'll do, we'll write your all the values in your matrix form over there. Now the first value d, those are 0 0 is equal to 1 upon ei constant for dr1 value. So dr1 I have got as minus 713.25 and dr2 as 440. So minus 713.25 and 440 plus 1 upon ei will come common from your flexibility coefficients. This I have got as 45, 24, 24 and 21.33. This I am getting negative over here, minus 24 into R1 and R2. Right? So from this first equation I'll get that as 45 into R1 minus 24 into R2 is equal to 713.25. Okay, here you equate to it with 0, so this ei will become 0 here. 45 into R1 minus 24 into R2, this will go towards rightward side, it will become positive 713.25. and same way second equation I'll get as minus 24 of R1 plus 21.33 of R2 is equal to minus 440. That is equation number 2. So if you solve this for R1 and R2 values, R1 is nothing but your vertical reaction at point C that we have taken as VC, and R2 is horizontal reaction at C that we have taken as HC. So R1 will be equal to VC and R2 will be equal to HC. So VC that I am getting as plus 12.12 kilonewton, plus you are getting, that means your assumed direction is correct, we assume it to upward direction, so it is okay. And R2, that is HC, I am getting as minus 6.98 kilonewton over there. So minus this what indicates, that is assumed direction is wrong. Instead of rightward direction, this will act towards the left over there. So these will be my two basic unknowns which were redundant over there. R1 equal to VC and R2 is equal to HC over there. So this will be my complete result diagram over there, in which I will show these two forces. That is this VC, I have calculated that as 12.12, and this HC, that will be towards left, I have got that as 6.98 over there. Okay, now using this, what we'll do, we'll calculate these remaining reactions over there. That is vertical reaction at your point A, VA, horizontal reaction at your point A, that is HA, and the moment acting at your fixed end, that will be suppose MA over there. So for that we'll do the calculation. Summation of MA is equal to 0, treating clockwise moments positive. We'll take moment at point A over there. So moment of all the forces you have to take along this point A. So this is your UDL is given to you 10 kilonewton per meter, right? So moment of 12, moment of this 10, and these two quantities that we have calculated, we have to take moment of all along this section over there. So first we are having here anti-clockwise moment, so here it will come minus MA plus moment of 12 into 2 clockwise moment, so it will come positive. Next moment of this UDL along this point A, that will be again a clockwise moment, so it will come positive. That will be 10 into 3 into 1.5, that is half of 3. Okay, next moment of this 12.12 along point A, that will come anti-clockwise, so minus 12.12 into perpendicular distance will be 3. Next moment of 6.98 along this point A, that will be how much? 6.98 into, again that is a anti-clockwise moment, so it will come negative. Lever arm will be now its vertical distance, that is 4 equal to 0. So from this I have got MA is equal to 4.72 kilonewton meter. Positive I have got this, that means my assumed direction is correct. MA is acting in anti-clockwise direction itself. Okay, now I'll use summation of FOI condition to calculate the VA value. So from this what I'll get? VA minus, this is horizontal force, so it will not come, UDL 10 into 3 plus 12.12 equal to 0. So from this VA I have got 17.88 kilonewton positive over there. That means positive what indicates our assumed direction towards upward is correct, it will be acting upward direction. Now I'll use summation of Fx condition to calculate the HA value. Okay, so here what I'll get? Plus HA plus 12 minus 6.98 is equal to 0. So HA here I am getting as minus 5.02 kilonewton. Minus what indicates that our assumed direction towards right is wrong over there. HA will be acting towards the left direction over here. Okay, so here I have got these three reactions. So I'll change the sign of this HA, that I'll shift towards the left. So I'll write values of these three reactions. MA I am getting as 4.72, VA I have got that as 17.88, and HA I am getting as 5.02 over here. Done. Now what we'll do here, instead of drawing the bending moment diagram in our plain manner over there, we will try to draw the bending moment diagram by superposition over there. Okay, so for superposition what we'll need the moment value at point A, that is MAB. We'll need moment value for MBA, MBC and MCB. So from these reactions itself we'll calculate those values over there. Now you see properly how to calculate those values. So for that I'll separate these two members over here. Okay, this is my member A, B, and this is my member BC over here, and I'll draw the loadings given to me as it is. So this is my 10, I'll not show the units. Okay, I'll show. Then here you are having a load of 12 kilonewton, 2 meter and 2 meter apart. Okay, so these are my loadings provided. Okay, along with that what I'll do, I'll mark my obtained reactions over there. So obtained reactions at point A, those are these three. So vertical reaction here is 17.88. Next horizontal reaction here I have got that as 5.02, and along with that here moment I have got, that is nothing but a moment of MAB is equal to 4.72 over there. Okay, next for BC, C point I have got the reactions over there. Those are your 12.12 upward and 6.98 towards the left direction. So these two I will mark here, that is 12.12 and this is your 6.98 over there. Now using this, what I have to do is I have to calculate the moment of MBA and moment of MBC. Moment of MCB will be obviously equal to 0 because that is your incapable support if you see. Right? So for calculating that moment values, see what I will do, whatever will be this reaction of 12.12, this BC member will be treated as your simple member over there, because whatever the joint B is given to you, that is your rigid joint. So this will be having one vertical reaction over here. Suppose it is acting in upward direction, or you can call that as VB reactions over there. Okay, so you can calculate this VB easily. How? You can take the moment at any point over there, or you can use summation of FY condition for calculating that VB over here. Or instead of that, I'll tell you one more simple process. What are the 17.88 VA reaction you have got this? Okay, if I use the same axial force in the downward direction to this, that is, if this force is acting in upward direction as the axial, here one downward force will also act of same intensity but equal and opposite forces over there. Okay, and if this is acting in downward direction, same force must act in the upward direction over there. So no need of doing the calculation, directly you will get this reaction VB over here, that is 17.88, that will be acting in upward direction over there. Right? Now using these reactions, what you have to do, let me calculate. Suppose I assume as an anticlockwise moment at this point, that is your MBC over here. So I'll calculate that MBC value. How we will calculate that? I'll take suppose moment at point C, or you can take moment at point B also. Here whatever the moment is coming, that is due to the incapable support, this moment will become here 0 directly. So what I'll do, I'll take summation of moment at point B is equal to 0, treating clockwise moments as positive. Okay, so whatever this moment I am getting, I'll take here this condition over there. So you have to take moment at this point over here. So this I'll get as anti-clockwise moment minus of MBC. Next, moment of this UDL along this point B, that will be clockwise in nature. So plus 10 into 3 into 3 by 2, that is 1.5. Right? Next, moment of this 12.12, that will be anti-clockwise in nature. So 12.12 into 3 plus this 0, and moment of 6.98 will be 0 because its lever arm will completely be, or perpendicular distance will be 0, is equal to 0. So if you solve this, I'll get MBC is equal to 8.64 kilonewton meter positive over there. I'm getting this MBC is equal to 8.64 positive over there. Positive, what that indicates, that whatever initial direction I have assumed, that direction is correct over here. That is, MBC is acting in anti-clockwise direction itself. So here I'll write that MBC value is equal to 8.64 over there. Okay. Now if I use condition of equilibrium at joint B, equilibrium condition at joint B, so that condition will be what? MBA plus MBC shall be equal to 0. So if I calculate this in terms of MBA, I'll get that as MBA will be equal to minus of MBC, that means opposite to this value over there. So if I want to calculate MBA over there, what I'll get that as MBA will be equal to same value, that is 8.64 kilonewton meter, but that will be clockwise in nature because here you are getting opposite sign. So here I'll mark that moment over here, that is this moment I am getting clockwise in nature, that is MBA is equal to 8.64 over there. Now I have got all the support moments over there. MAB I am having, MBA I am having, MBC I am having, and MCB also I am having equal to 0 over there. Now you can plot your bending moment diagram by superposition very easily. So we'll plot that diagram. Okay, here I'll plot. I'm not having more space over there. Joint A, B and C. Here moment I am having equal to 0 over there. Now see, here whatever moment I am having, that is anti-clockwise in nature. That means BC I am getting minus 8.64. Negative it is, so it will be plotted on upward side of this. That is 8.64. Okay, what you do? You join these 2 points by a straight line. Next, same, whatever this moment I have got, that is clockwise in nature, plus 8.64, positive moment is plotted. We'll start from this end. MAB is equal to 4.92, that is anti-clockwise in nature, so negative moment is plotted on the outward side over here. So this I have got as plus minus 4.72, and this moment I am getting here as plus 8.64 again. So that will be plus moment, that is again plotted on the outward side. So this I am getting equal to plus 8.64, and again join these 2 points by a straight line over there. So these are my support moments. Now what I'll do, I'll calculate the span moments over there. Span moments AB and span moment BC. So for AB, if you see the loading, what is going to point load at the center is provided to, so that comes equal to WL by 4. So W is 12, L is 4 divided by 4. So I get this as simply 12 kilonewton meter. Same way for BC, UDL it is, so WL square by 8, W is 10, L is 3 square divided by 8, I'll get this as 11.25. Okay, so I'll plot these two, 12 at the center somewhere here, and this 11.25 will follow parabolic path here. So this is my WL square by 8 is equal to 11.25, and this is my this 12 moment over here. Just what you have to do is you have to shade the superimposed part over here. Same diagrams you can draw in cases of beams also by calculating the support moments over there. So this diagram will be your BMD by superposition. I hope you have understood this bending moment diagram by superposition. If it is asked in the numerical that you have to draw the bending moment diagram by superposition, then you can plot this. If it is not asked you, then you can plot the plane BMD also. That will be also okay to you. So here this numerical will be getting concluded. If you are having any doubt again regarding this numerical or any other numerical, you can please comment in the comment box. Thank you so much.